she said. So like Mindy said, my name's Tracy Dyer. I'm so proud. Sorry. I'm married to a wonderful man, Jeff, and I have two beautiful daughters, Callie, who's 16, and Delaney, who's 13. In my past life, I had a successful financial planning business, but honestly, my heart really just longed to be a wife and a mom. And so as soon as he put a ring on my finger, I quit. Actually, I owned my own business then, so it wasn't really like quitting, but I seriously slowed down and eventually sold my business and was a stay-at-home mom this whole time. I was introduced to Arbonne about 10 years ago through a friend who dropped off an RE9 set at my house. And I had no idea what was in the products, or more importantly, what wasn't in the products. I just knew because she dropped it off at my house I needed to use it. But the interesting thing, I don't remember her asking me or sharing the business with me. I don't know whether she did or not, but I don't remember. But when I look back, and I always wonder, like, what if she had? What would my response have been? And honestly, I would have laughed at her. I would have thought, are you crazy? I have a degree, I have a stockbroker's license, you know, I'm this and that, and to be honest with you, I would have needed to get over myself. But I wouldn't have at the time. So that's probably my only regret, looking back, is that I would have said yes then had she asked. And again, I wish I could remember, I need to call up and say, did you ever share the business with me? But Mindy, thankfully, was very vocal about the nutrition products. And after hearing her gloat on Facebook about how great she felt, I decided that I want to jump in and do it as well. And I was so pleased with my results that I was just on fire for the products, and all of my friends were noticing the difference in me. So I was referring them all to Mindy, like a great client, right? And I had referred so many people to her, it was basically like I was doing the business without even trying. So I called her up one day and asked her if I could join her team. And so the neat thing was, I just kept sharing with my friends, and I was sharing their results on my Facebook page, and it was just crazy how many people were wanting to jump in. And that's when I knew that we were really onto something, that we were really changing lives and changing people's health, and it was so exciting. The timing really couldn't have been more perfect. I think if you would have been looking at me from the outside, you would have thought that we had it all together. We live in a beautiful neighborhood, we have a beautiful home, we drive great cars. My kids are in private school. But what most people didn't know on the inside is that financially we were drowning. My girls love them to pieces, but they have a serious dance addiction. And they dance about 20 hours a week, and if anybody knows anything about dance, it's extremely expensive. So their dance bills were getting bigger and bigger. They were actually more than our mortgage. And not having the heart to have them cut back, we were really just racking up that credit card debt. We had cut back as much as we could. We'd stopped the family vacations. We really didn't eat out much. And it's funny because after I started Arbonne, I think it was Delaney who said, Mom, you used to say no to everything all the time, and now you always say yes. So it's pretty funny, but we were struggling, and so the timing couldn't have been more perfect. But when Mindy had asked me the day that I made that phone call and I asked her if I could join her business, she asked me how much money I wanted to make, because she felt like that way she would know how to train me. And thinking very, very small at that time, I said, if I could just make a couple $100 to help their dance bill not be so huge, I'd be thrilled. And that happened immediately for me. And like I said, it just couldn't have come at a better time. So here's a little snapshot into my journey. It took me 6 weeks to get to district manager, and it took me about 11 months after that to get to area. And once I got to area, it was about 15 months later. When I got to region, honestly, I was happy as a clown. And I thought, this is a great place to be, right? And I thought I would just hang out here for a while. But the cool thing is, in this business, is once that ball gets rolling, once that momentum gets going, you can't stop it. And Minnie and I joke, it's like popcorn. And these days, I make it on the stove with coconut oil and organic. But it's such a great analogy because what happens is you put the coconut oil in the pan, right? You heat it up, you throw the kernels in there, and it takes a couple minutes to get going. And then all of a sudden you get a pop, and then you get another pop, and another pop, and a couple minutes later, all of a sudden it's just building, 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 building. And if the pan's too small, eventually the lid's gonna come off and the popcorn's gonna spill over. And literally that's what happened in my business. It was just unbelievable. So we got to Nation 11 months after being promoted to RVP, and we actually surpassed that goal to get to Nation by $86,000. So that just shows you what momentum can do. So it was crazy. I wasn't like I was on this big journey, like, let's get to Nation, we can do this, team. It just literally happened. So I was not really, I didn't see it coming. What a blessing it was. And I just want to attribute that to my team, and you'll get to meet some of them in a little bit. But I have the best team in the entire world, and it's been so fun. So that's really just the magic of network marketing. I don't work any harder now than I did back then as a DM. It's just now I have a huge team, and we all do a little bit, and it adds up to a lot. So it's pretty fun. I joke with people now that I can help you with your health, and I can help you with your wealth. So I'm just as passionate now about the business and sharing the business with people as I was back then about the Clean Eating Challenge. So it's just like a little tiny shift that happens when you start to see other people on your team become successful, that you just get so fired up that now you're just as enthusiastic about sharing the business with them. I love that I get to share with others how to get healthy and how to make better choices with what they put in and on their body. And I love that I get to work with supportive and amazing men and women who inspire me every day. But the absolute best part is that I'm still a stay-at-home mom, and I just have an awesome global business that I can work into the nooks and crannies of my day. So it couldn't ask for more. I mean, what a beautiful thing that is. So someone once asked me, where do you see yourself in 5 years if you keep doing what you're currently doing? And I would have answered that question a lot differently 3.5 years ago than I do today. Today I see ourselves debt-free. I see ourselves with more choices, choices for our girls to choose where they want to go to college, because we're getting there, sadly. Choices when and where we want to travel, and choices for my husband, who works extremely hard. He travels and works very long hours. And 3.5 years ago, in my head, I was thinking, he's never going to be able to retire. Like, this is just not anywhere on the horizon. And thankfully, now I can see the light at the tunnel, and I cannot wait to tell him when it's time to retire, which will be very soon. And selfishly, because I need him, because he's a little tech wizard and I'm not, so I can't even wait. So really, choices to use our resources to help others in ways that we've always dreamed about. I've always felt that I was put on this earth to do something great and to make a difference, but somehow life just got in the way. The craziness of life, finances, all of that stuff just gets in the way, and you kind of lose sight of what you feel was your passion and your desire. So with little time and little resources, I stuck that dream down. When I was single, I used to work with abused and adopted kids through our church. And I had always dreamed of going to Africa to serve over there, and I knew at some point that I would. But like I said, life just got in the way, and I had almost forgotten about that dream because we were just too busy and really didn't have the resources to do that. But the exciting thing is, Arbonne allows you to dream again. When your time starts to get freed up and your resources start to get freed up, you're freed up to dream. And so I'm super excited to say that my family and I are leaving for Zambia on Thursday. And we're going to serve kids for a week at an orphanage. So it's going to be so fun, and I can't even wait to share when I get back about that. It's going to be just like Gigi. And when I get back from that, I'm got this mission that I want to go build 90 homes in Haiti. After the earthquake in 2010, all the families were obviously displaced, and a lot of them are still living in these blue tarp tents that are scorching hot in there because there's no ventilation. The floor's dirt, and when it rains, they got to pick up all their stuff, and it's just horrible. We have about 30 Arbonne leaders who've been going back and forth to Haiti recently, and they came up with this vision. It's called Vision 90, where they already bought the land. I think it's 26 acres, and in the next 6 months, we're going to get 90 block homes built. So that's pretty cool. So you'll be hearing more about that from me when I share about that, because it's so awesome. And that's really the thing that I think sets Arbonne apart, is we do more so we can give more. And all the leaders in Arbonne are the money is great, but that's not what motivates us. What motivates us is to give back and to change lives in a way that you never dreamed that you could change lives, and do something for people who can never help themselves. So it's just exciting. We learn from the best. You'll get to hear from Cecilia, but that's how she teaches us and trains us. And we all have that heart, and that's kind of what attracts us to Arbonne, is to get out there and to help people, whether it be with their health or their finances or in a bigger way. And like I said, to help people who could never help themselves. So it's so awesome. So could Arbonne be your vehicle to achieve your dreams and goals? That's my question for you. Because trust me, if I can do this, anybody can do it. And I want to leave you with this. You know what? I'm sorry, I skipped a couple things. Oh well, it just popped into my head. But honestly, I'm here to tell you, I'm just telling you all this stuff, and I don't want you to sit there and think, oh great, good for her. She's a rock star, she's this or she's that, because I'm not. But I tell you this to motivate you, to let you know that you too can do this. So think about this. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And is what you're currently doing going to get you where you want to be in 5 years from now? Could Arbonne be that vehicle for you? And I want to leave you with this. Don't let people who have lost their ability to dream take yours away from you. Hold on to the dreams that were put in your heart, because the belief that you can is always bigger than how it's going to happen. And my favorite verse, Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. So I want to take this time to thank my family, because if it weren't for them, there's no way I would be able to do this. So first of all, I want to thank my mom and dad, Roger and Suzanne Hall. Mom was like one of my very first clients. And they supported me in the business from the very beginning. And they've always encouraged me and just given me everything I need to be successful, even from childhood. So everything that they've taught me, and just the belief that I grew up with, that I could do anything. So I owe that to them. And to my daughters, Allie and Delaney. You guys are both really the reason why I said yes to this business. If it wasn't for your crazy 20 hours of plus dance week addiction, I would have never jumped in. But I'm so thankful that I did, as this has given me so much more than a great paycheck. Thank you for putting up with my millions of phone calls and my hours spent on the computer, and for never complaining. And you too make me strive to do better, to succeed. And to my husband, Jeff, thank you for your endless support. You supported me in Arbonne for day one. You never even questioned it. Even when we had no idea what this business would be, of course, once you realized what this business could be, you never stopped encouraging me. You're always quick to offer help with the girls and driving them back and forth to the dance studio and with things around the house so that I can work. I'm so proud of the man that you are and your selflessness and dedication to our family. You will stop at nothing to provide for us and to make us happy, and I can hardly wait for the day that I can retire you. poured love over me from the very beginning, gave me the tools that I needed to be successful, and answered my thousands of questions, and she still does, even at 6:30 in the morning, and even if it was the 10th time I asked the question. You believed in me from the beginning, you speak life over me, and I couldn't have done this without you. Thank you for all you've done and continue to do, and I couldn't ask for a better business partner or friend. Tracy. I wanted to thank you for saying yes to this business and for hanging in there when times were tough. If you weren't here, if you didn't say yes, nobody in this room would be here right now. It's just got to be a crazy feeling. And thank you for your leadership and for always encouraging me. I'm going to take my agenda with me. So, I think maybe back up again. So